So our first storyteller coming to the stage, when I asked her, what resolution have you already given up on? She said, communing with more nature. So please welcome to the stage, Roxana Ortega. Okay, this is a beautiful bag. It's from Louis Vuitton. This is the name of our screenwriters. Emily Dorizas. Yes, give it up for Roxana.
Okay, so it was Valentine's Day, 2007, and I am in a relationship with a man who I really love, but I also find him, he's not here, right? Disgusting, okay? He knew how to use his hands in all the right ways, but he also ate with his fingers too much, and it was weird. And he had an apartment covered with dog hair. He didn't brush his teeth sometimes at night. I mean, come on, right? But I was in denial about how gross it all was because I'm a romantic. And like when I walk outside at night and the moon's there, I'm like, hi, moon, you know, every time. And so this Valentine's Day, I'm like, I just want the perfect romantic night with him, right? So we planned to have a picnic on Venice Beach at sunset. So we packed up our bag, or our picnic basket of food and our blanket, and we headed down to Venice Beach. And the sun was just about going down, and not that many people there, and there's no one on the beach. And if you know Venice Beach, it's a pretty long walk. There's a lot of sand, so to get down to the water takes a bit of time. So we walked for a good 5 minutes, and we found a nice spot. Nobody's down there, and we set up the blanket, and we started popping out, the wine and the chocolate-covered strawberries and the cheese, and the sky was just so beautiful, starting to morph colors, and we looked up toward the boardwalk, and we noticed this lone figure walking towards us. And I mean, it seemed like he was walking towards us because we're the only ones on the beach, but he was so far out we didn't think too much about it. So we continue, we cut our Gouda, we're popping Kalamata olives, and we open the wine. It's just so beautiful. We look back towards the boardwalk, and the guy is still coming towards us. And now it's clear that he is coming towards us because, again, there's nobody down at the beach. And he gets close enough now where we can see what he looks like. And he is in his 30s, white guy. He's got medium length hair, brown hair, and he's wearing like a loose cotton ensemble. Like he looks like he just got out of like a meditation class or like a cult, okay? And he's very classic, LA possible serial killer. And he comes, now he's like 10 feet in front of us, and he sits down in this fluid motion and lands in legs crossed. What is that? Indian style? Is that bad to say? He lands in that, and it took a lot of abs to do that move. I was like, oh wow. And he says, "Why did you call me to you?" And we were like, oh fuck. I mean, we didn't say anything. I got chills up my spine and just froze. And I am somebody who is very confident in my ability to deal with crazy because I went to Berkeley and, thank you, you've been there. I was purposefully tripped once by a man on the street with an actual horn coming out of his head. And I've been chased by naked, mud-covered men that were the cavemen of Berkeley. I've been masturbated at all over Europe. I did a lot of backpacking. And and my philosophy has always been, oh, you just have to out-crazy the crazy, And like one time in Nice, France, this guy came at me. Well, he didn't come at me, but he came at me, with his dick out, and he was like chasing me to my hostel. Right, it was pretty, impressive that he was able to run. But he was like chasing me, And I just spontaneously broke out into this crazy German voice out of nowhere. I will call the police. And he was like, oh, he dropped his dick and just like took off. So I was like, yeah, I know how to handle myself in situations like these, right? But this was totally different. I froze. This man was so calm and focused, and he had this intention that had drawn him to us that I was like, I don't even know how to deal with this. He said again, why did you call me to you? Again, I didn't know what to say. And there was no one around us. We're trapped down at the beach, you know. There's no one to hear me scream. There's nowhere to run. Well, you could run, but you know how hard it is to run on sand. So I was like, oh my God. So my boyfriend, he was like, look, man, we didn't call you to us. And I was thinking, that's what you got? That's your way out of it? You can't reason with this guy, right? And the guy was like, and he did not like, he like grunted and was like, no, you called me to you. Why did you call me to you? Uh-oh. He said, uh-oh. And I was like, uh-oh. If a crazy person says, uh-oh, that's not good. So I reached behind me and I grabbed the knife. Which was plastic. But I was like, I gotta defend myself somehow. My boyfriend was not a fighter type. He was a whiny writer type. No offense to the room here. But, and so I was like, I gotta be the one to do this, right? And the guy's getting agitated and my boyfriend tries again. He's like, look, man, I'm just trying to have Valentine's Day with my girl. And I'm thinking like, what? This guy doesn't care about Valentine's Day? Like he is from another planet where they have a totally different calendar and like he's probably celebrating some crazy holiday, you know, Massacre Monday or something like that. And we're screwed, right? So he starts gyrating, the crazy guy now. He's like, why did you call me to you? Why did you call me to you? You know, like he's like gathering energy and about to like explode at us. And somewhere from the brilliant lizard brain, survival brain of mine, I said, we called you to us because this is all for you. And I motioned with my hands like a Price is Right model. I was like, a new car, you know, I was like, ah. But it was my, you know, my romantic evening sitting there on the picnic blanket. And he kind of like perked up like, Scooby Snap, you know? And I was like, yeah. And my boyfriend and I simultaneously got up from the blanket, totally in sync. Like, you see, we were just, he knew my body, okay? We were just so connected physically. But anyways, so we get up at the same time and we start slinking backwards, you know, like cartoon characters, like, and slowly, and the guy slinks onto the blanket like some sort of like Komodo dragon. I don't know if that's a dangerous animal, but he was like a lizardy, and he got onto the blanket and started, you know, drinking the Pinot and, you know, eating the Gouda, and we're like, okay. And we hustled back to the boardwalk, and we survived. And I remember thinking, man, this guy is really not good in a crisis. Like, I basically saved us, right? And I also woke up to the fact, like, I really like clean teeth, you know, at night, and he's probably not for me. And the relationship did not survive. And yeah, no, it's okay. Because, you know, I realized all romantic fantasies have their time to die, whether it was the relationship or my beach sunset picnic, because I've never wanted to do one since. And yeah, everything dies, but I'm really glad that I didn't. Thank you.